So,
Well, I don't know how you do it, and I say this thinking of Drew Holcomb, which I'm assuming is a pal of yours because he's pals with Ben Rector too, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I loved my conversation with him. I thought it was I just thought it was great. I love talking with him. I love talking with you. But I don't know how you deal with people like me coming into your life for an hour or a 4-hour round of golf and then never to be heard from again until you're back in their town.
yeah.
You know, it's like, because you guys are friendly guys, you know, but there's got to be some sort of something that works up inside of you that goes, I don't know, something that works up that's a protective unit that says, I can't love everybody, or at least can't take the time to invest having a relationship with everybody that I meet along the way, even though, here's Mr. Ego, Frank's a cool guy. You know, even though somebody in Chicago is a cool guy.
Well, you know,
Milwaukee is some of this. So I don't know how you do it.
I think that's a great point. I think a few things. Number one, I think it's about being where you are in that moment. So being as authentic as you can be in these moments. So as we're doing this, that I'm fully present with you and giving you the honesty that you deserve, you know, and that people listening deserve. I also think one of the fascinating things about doing this for a living is it's like, you know how carousels work when you get on those things on the playground as a kid. And if you whip around that thing about 20 times and pull a kid off, you sit them down and their eyes still move. You know, their eyes are still twitching and going side to side super fast. And after about, 10 seconds, you see it sort of stop and they can focus on you. The road is like the carousel because it's like you just get so used to moving at such a clip that you can kind of maintain it because you just know what it takes to survive out there. So conversations are all that short. You know, you aren't really sitting down investing in any moment or time other than what you can give it at the moment because you're going to be gone. And so you just kind of live that way. And the transition back home is so hard because you're not doing that anymore. My wife isn't going, man, it was really good to see you. Let's talk about this, have a couple questions. All right, I'm going to bed. It's, hey, sit down and tell me how your day was. And you can't go,
right.
Man, it was great. I love playing here. She's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like you have to invest it. So it's you kind of live life at these different speeds. And so, that's why when Bono, I love this when I read U2 at the End of the World by Bill Flanagan, that his wife would make him stay in that hotel for a week when he gets home from tour just to be like, okay, here's your point of entry. Sleep, get rested, because when you come home, you're dad. You're doing carpools. You are helping me balance our checkbook. What do you know? Like you're cleaning vomit off the floor. You're not like, So I think you have to live in these seasons of different speeds and know how to do that well, which is pretty much close to impossible. Yeah,
I just wonder if I guess you have to believe in what you're doing, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
right?
that's
no
well
matter
said.
If you're a traveling salesperson, you just have to believe in it that it's worth that quote unquote investment of your own self to be able to juggle on the carousel and then get off the carousel and keep the juggle going and then stop juggling and pay attention to the people who need to be paid attention to.
Well,
right?
And that's a valid point. And I think too, there's, and I don't mean to demean, being on stage and playing is like, it's the best. I mean, when you're playing a song that you've written and you're singing it and you see people in the crowd, like either snuggle up to each other or mouth along with you or close their eyes or rock out or dance. I mean, that's like, to me, it's like the height of living. It's like, as a human, to be able to evoke that kind of a response in other humans is like the pinnacle of existence. You're like, I can make someone else feel like I feel in this awesome way, and that's incredible. So I don't mean to demean that, but I think it's true. It's what does the other, it's like somebody told me one time, they're like, when you're paying me to tour, you're not paying me for the 2 hours on stage. You're paying me for the 22 off of it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's what we're doing. Like the fun part isn't the hard part. The fun part is what you're like. That's why we do it.
Right.
It's the rest of it that you have to manage.